mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate, to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay on ubnradio.com.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here out of the Sunset Gower Studios with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, and then every Thursday and Saturday on my syndicated CNBC, NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and everywhere on iHeartRadio. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words at all, no Kardashian talk, because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So if you missed any of my fabulous interviews with Hope and Happiness guests, Neil Donald Walsh, best-selling author of Conversations with God, Marianne Williamson, to Marianne from Gilligan's Island, Don Wells, Potsy from Happy Days, Anson Williams, Corey Feldman from Stand By Me, and Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Please go to my YouTube channel and free subscribe, and that way you'll get to not miss any of my Hope and Happiness guests. My guest today is someone who I got to meet at a function at USC, and he was introduced me as someone who would put me on stage. And as shy as I am, those were magic words to my ears. Sarcasm is another service I offer. Born in London, 1964, and brought up in Spain, Bernardo Moya has unrivaled experience in the world of self-help. Bernardo is an entrepreneur, writer, publisher, TV producer, and seminar promoter to some of the biggest names in personal development. He is editor-in-chief of the Best You magazine and CEO of NLP Life Training, the company that took over organization of Paul McKenna seminars in the UK after Paul's move to Beverly Hills in 2008. He's a well-experienced organizer, publicizing and running large seminars, and is hugely interested in new media, traditional broadcast, and print media, as his editorship of the Best You reveals. And he is now the founder of the Best You Expo, which is coming from London, England to Long Beach, California, March 24th and 25th. And since I was asked to be on stage, I had to have him in studio to find out what am I in for. Without further ado, please welcome to the show, Bernardo Moya.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Great, very long introduction. Yeah?
Well, you know, it's my show. I get to do what I want.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I have a question that I ask my guests sometimes. I have a friend. She doesn't have an answering machine. She has a questioning machine. And when you call her, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So, who are you and what do you want?
I love that. I want to talk a little bit more about questions.
Yes.
Well, that's it. I'm Bernardo Moya. I started late into this whole thing of personal professional growth, kind of my mid-30s, I suppose. I did a lot of training courses because I started in timeshare, so I was very into kind of like, you know, learning psychology of selling, and I did a lot of that. But I came quite late into it in my mid-30s, and reading, I think actually, funny enough, one of the first books was Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lecter. And many years later, I started working with her. But the first book that really had a big impact was Change Your Life in 7 Days with Paul McKenna. And that was, you know, I heard for the first time of Richard Bandler. I heard for the first time of NLP. And I started understanding the power of understanding, you know, how to think. And how to be able to change your emotions and how to use language more elegantly in order to kind of like, you know, achieve what you want in life. And that was it. I decided to do the training course because a friend of mine was actually working with Paul McKenna. And the rest is all history. I just loved it. I came out really realizing that I wanted to do something different in my life. I wanted to do something a bit more fulfilling.
You weren't happy, or you were happy, or it was just not your bells weren't being rung?
I think that's it. The bell's
Yeah.
not being rung. I lived in Marbella, beautiful family. I was quite well off, wealth-wise. You know, I had houses, cars, but it was just one of those things. You know, when you start questioning, you know, there has to be more to life than what I'm doing now, and that happened. But as I got more and more interested into NLP, and then I decided, you know what, I wouldn't mind myself to become an author and maybe try and see if I could inspire others, because my parents are Spanish, so I can see how this is needed in the Spanish-speaking markets. I saw that instantly. And but
Spanish with a British accent.
yes,
I love
yes.
it.
Pero soy español, al 100%. Soy
Oh, there we go. I love it.
I'm bilingual, but my mother tongue is Spanish. But yeah, that was it. So I got hooked into it. I then, what happened at that time is the real estate market was changing quite dramatically. Like many others, I stick my head in the sand thinking, oh no, there's no bubble.
Right.
And before I realized, pretty much anything and everything that I owned and I appreciated from a financial point of view disappeared. And this training helped me substantially. But not only that, what it really did was it gave me an opportunity to start something completely new in a new country, start all over again, fresh. And that's what I did. So I literally decided to, having lost everything and the banks wanting it all, that I was going to do something different. That's what I did. I started NLP Life Training, and I started promoting these guys, which was quite surreal, you know, training with them, and the next kind of within weeks I'm actually promoting them, which was quite surreal.
Right. And I've never really had an NLP guest here, and you gave a little teaser on that. So you can, since you're the expert, what is NLP? Why would someone even care about NLP like you dove in headfirst for it?
Well, NLP is the study of excellence, okay? So the co-creators was John Grinder and Richard Bandler, and they came up with this neuro-linguistic programming, that's what it stands for, which is about neuro, the head, the brain, how we think, linguistic, a set of language patterns, and then programming is a set of skills of how you can implement these strategies. And what Richard did is he studied a lot of people that overcame phobias, anxieties, became successful, were very good at what they did, and literally what it is, which is the NLP stands for, is about studying excellence. How do successful people do what they do? How do people that overcome certain situations and challenges? So we all have an internal dialogue, we all make pictures in our mind, and in order for us to be able to be aware of our thoughts and be able to change them and control them and manage them,
right,
is obviously very important. And one of the things that we do, obviously, with NLPs, we teach people to overcome phobias, which are literally limiting beliefs. You can cure a phobia within 10-15 minutes. You know, something that
I didn't know about that aspect.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. I mean, you know, people have these limiting beliefs for 15-20 years, and on the seminars that we do, literally within 15-20 minutes you're getting rid of it. It's powerful stuff.
Really? So if I have a voice that says you're always going to be fat and ugly, because that is what I grew up with, what would you interject?
Well, it's simply
Trying to get a free session here, can you tell? I'm Chinese, I can't help it.
Well, you should. Listen, I'm here.
It's my show, right? I got to get something.
Hey, I'm here to help. The first thing is you see, I was standing in this room. I thought it was quite knowledgeable. My NLP practitioner, very skeptical. I'm standing there day 3, day 4, and I'm thinking, why am I learning this now? So one of the things that you learn is I have an internal dialogue. Because a lot of people have an internal dialogue. They have this voice going on, oh my God, how ugly are you?
Yeah.
Excuse me, oh really?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to wear today?
Right.
Oh, how happy, oh really? So, you know, you have this internal dialogue, but if you change that internal dialogue to say positive things to you, or to change your tonality, when some, you know, if you had a friend that was telling you all the time, oh my God, how ugly, how stupid are you, you know, how fat are you, and all these things, you wouldn't allow it.
Right.
You'd say, hey, why don't you go and bugger off,
Yeah.
as they say in England. So
it's a good thing.
why would we do that to ourselves? So by changing the tonality of your voice, so it sounds less aggressive, so it sounds friendlier, or less aggressive. So like putting a little squeak on it. Oh, how ugly are you? You know, it just doesn't sound the same. If you want to say something that you want it to be empowering, so you would say to yourself, how good do you look today? You know, so just change that internal dialogue. So there's so many things that you can do which simply have an instant impact. Or we all have emotions. These emotions move in a certain way within our body,
right.
Up, down, round. It's a very simple technique. If you feel anxiety in any way, and if you just feel it, your hand will indicate which way it's going. If you just simply start changing it in the opposite direction, those feelings will feel differently. Instantly, automatically. So there's a set of skills, a set of things that you can learn, and language patterns that can create change.
Great. I as a organizational psychologist, people talk about, oh, he's an LLP trainer or whatever, and I honestly just thought it was about communication and whether you're an auditory or visual or whatever, and the category. And I had heard that someone said, well, if you're an NLP, you're a manipulator, like you're trying to manipulate people.
It's normally people that don't know anything
about
NLP.
Because this is totally different, and
Absolutely.
I'm glad that it sort of went that way. I wasn't planning on asking you that, but I'm glad I asked. It opens a whole new realm of discovery, and it's good. It's good for you.
It's very, very good for you. But,
Yeah.
But it's I think NLP has, it's a lot of people in the industry, coaches, trainers, therapists, marketers, they use it permanently. They don't give it the recognition it has. But I consider it to be one of the most powerful tools that anyone in the change world industry use. And for those that are in the industry of helping people change, I would highly recommend.
I'm definitely going to look into that because of this. But if you're just tuned in and you're wondering who I'm talking to, it is Bernardo Moya, and he is the founder of a fantastic event that's coming to town, that's coming from England to Long Beach, and I was asked to speak on stage, so I am wanting to know more and wanting to share it with you. So I went straight to the top, to the person who came up with this. So we're going to talk about it right now. You're all invited. Tell me about the actual event, and then we'll kind of back up in how you even got there. So
Yes, okay. Well, the Best You Expo is an opportunity for anyone and everyone that is in the business of helping and inspiring others to share their message. And it's also an opportunity and a place for those that are seeking, looking, interested in connecting with, like-minded people or people that can help them. That's the place. What I found with this industry of personal development, it's a very fragmented one.
right.
Anyone and everyone tends to market themselves through their own platforms. There isn't an Amazon of self-help, or there wasn't till now.
Right.
That's where
Recent.
That's where we come in. So we literally connect those great experts with people that are looking for inspiration.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And we're a multi-platform, so the idea of live events is important to us, but obviously we record it, we stream it, we then will put it on our TV and e-learning platform, and we're also looking at global reach, so that's the idea behind the expo. So it's a festival of learning. We have eight or nine seminars or breakout rooms, all themed differently, covering different aspects of what personal professional growth could mean, because it means many different things to many different people. We have the main stage with some great main stage speakers. We've got the inspiration zone where we're curing phobias. We've got some NLP trainers there. We are teaching people how to dance salsa, walking on glass. So literally just pushing the boundaries of what isn't and isn't possible. We've got a yoga or meditation room as well.
Chigo.
Hey, we're there.
I'm doing you've got me working both days.
Well,
I'll have you know. Taking advantage of me. I do. I absolutely do. I actually have a promo that will play to, I think I put in 2, but we'll see which one comes up.
In our first 2 years of running the Best You Expo, we've had more than 180 speakers, including Jason Vale, Sir Clive Woodward, Baroness Michelle Moe, Dr. Robert Holden, Sharon Lecter, Michael Neal, Dr. Barbara De Angelis. Our 2018 speakers include Sandy Jadeja, Paul McKenna, Marie Diamond, Jason Vale, and so many more. Are you passionate about your personal development and transformation? Are you interested in your professional growth? If that's the case, there's not a better place than the Best You Expo 2018 on Friday the 16th and Saturday the 17th of February at London Olympia. We have 12 amazing action-packed zones, including the Better World Zone, all about social awareness and taking action on the things that matter. The Mindfulness and Wellbeing Zone, which features leading experts who specialize in mental well-being. The Wealth and Riches Zone, where you can gain insider knowledge and expert advice from those at the forefront of wealth coaching and financial therapy. The Health and Lifestyle Zone, where we explore what it means to live a healthy and fulfilled lifestyle. The Empowering Women Zone, showcasing inspiring talks from leaders who empower girls and women in the workplace, marketplace, and community. The Passion to Profit Zone, where you can learn how to transform your passion into a successful business. The Best for Business Zone, featuring the very best businesses, leadership, career, and executive coaches and successful entrepreneurs. The Inspiration Zone, helping you unlock self-limiting beliefs and master new skills, including salsa dancing, tai chi, qigong, walking on broken glass, and phobia cures, just to name a few. The Yoga and Meditation Zone, and the VIP Zone, where you can meet with our guest speakers over a drink and canopies. With exhibitors from all over the world, thousands of like-minded people attending amazing events and fascinating speakers, it will be the personal development experience of the year. So make sure you don't miss out. Get your ticket now.
And that was a little promo of what you can expect when you come March 24th and 25th to Long Beach Convention Center. So how did you even come up with this idea of doing a large expo? Did you go to one and say, this is what's missing? Has London had history of that?
No, I think what it was is that having promoted, and I still work with these guys, okay? I still promote Paul McKenna, Richard Bandler in London. I still continue to do that through NLP Life Training. But as I said, I thought the industry is quite fragmented. I thought, there's something missing for me. I thought, why isn't there a personal development exhibition, where you can meet these great experts? Because it is a multi-billion-dollar industry with some amazing professionals who are very generous with everything that they do.
Right.
And I hadn't seen anything. So I thought that was it. Could I create a brand that would benefit those interested in sharing and those looking for inspiration? And I came up with the whole idea of the Best You. And I started with a magazine, which we continue to publish. And I did that because I thought, well, you know what, that's going to give me an opportunity to interview some great people. And I recorded them all in studios. So I've got all that content. I had hair when I started. And I was black, and I had a black beard. But I started, no, it was only 5 years ago. But I started running.
But you love it.
I love it. I do. No complaining here. It's all self-inflicted, that's what I say. It's all self-inflicted. But I started with a magazine, did all these amazing interviews, but I knew ultimately it was about the live. I liked the idea of a live. And these events are still far too small for me. I mean, I think where I want to go is to just take them, kind of like 10 times the size and become festivals and all sorts of things. But
I just had an inspiration too that this could be the new fuller TED Talk platform.
Well, you know what? I big fan of TED Talks, as many millions of people around the world, and I thought, I love what they do, but again, I thought there's something missing. So for us, it was the magazine. Could we go live? Could we provide hundreds of speakers the opportunity to speak? And then any and every variation of what this means, and then could we then put this content, package it on an e-learning platform? Could we put it on a TV? And then the most important thing for me is, how can we reach millions of people? I believe that people that are in this industry, we really hold the flag of change. And I mean that because, you know what, we can't really necessarily leave it to educators or politicians. We have to take responsibility because, people really understand the importance of helping and making a difference in the world. So that's my take, that the idea with the Best You is reaching people around the world and making sure that these talks and this content that we put out there is available for anyone and everyone.
Super. Super duper. So there's still some opportunity for people to come and invest in their speaking or invest in their exhibit to be part of this. What numbers are you expecting to come, and what's the process, and how do you want people to proceed?
Yeah.
Call to action.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a webpage, thebestyouexpo.com. Right now it has the English site and the one in Long Beach. You go to the Long Beach one and then you just literally want to get involved. And then within want to get involved, speak or exhibit. You apply because it is by application only. And there's limited. What I will say is that from event number 1 to event number 3, we've doubled in size every year in London. We had 14,500 people pre-register last year in London. We had around 8,000.
How many?
14,500.
14? I'm trying to get the accent.
14, yeah. 14,000 people
Wow.
pre-registered. We had around 8,000 show up.
Okay.
The train went down that weekend, which was very interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
The metro?
No,
the actual train.
This was in London. And there's a special train called the DLR that went down that weekend. But no, and then we had a couple of hundred exhibitors. So year 155, year 2 we had 120. So 120 exhibitors, 120 speakers, and in Long Beach we're expecting pretty much the same, around 120, 140 speakers, around a couple of hundred exhibitors, and then the main stage where we've got 1,000-seater capacity. Each of those breakout rooms have capacity 100 people, and people can speak or apply. The business model around this is that the success of these events, having been a promoter for quite a few years, is that if everyone chips in, if everyone does or contributes a little bit, the success of the event is guaranteed. So what we ask is anyone and everyone that's involved is to be proactive in marketing it. So 100 people inviting 100 people is 10,000. So we're expecting anything between 6 to 12,000 people, depending on kind of how things work out. But apart from that, we're going to be making this available as an online product too, so people from anywhere in the world virtually.
Well, that's great. That's great. That's great. And you're going to have cameras in all of the breakouts?
Every single seminar.
Really?
Yeah.
So they'll be able to watch in tandem, or they have to select?
The actual streaming is live for the main stage and some activities throughout the 2 days, because we can't have the streaming for all the seminar
Right, I
rooms.
was just going to...
But we do package it. 72 hours later from when the expo is finished, the recordings will be available.
Got it.
So anyone can watch any of the seminar rooms at any time, up to 60 days.
Got it. Great, great. So now let's rewind again. One more time. I'm going to go up 80,000 foot look. The name, The Best You. Where did that come from? I think, can we play that right now? That would be awesome. I think it's the shorter one. So let's play it, and then that'll like remind you of why you called it The Best You.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Like that. I like that a lot. It does sound like you.
Thank
I know.
you. Thank you. I think he's got an amazing voice. You know what it is? One doesn't really like. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. My voice is okay, but I love his voice. He's a guy called JP. But I did write the script, and yeah, those are all my words, and that's kind of what I understand.
And did that come from the NLP time? Did it, like, when did you? I mean, it's a theme. I mean, it's a great theme. Be the best that you can be, the best you. Did you feel like you were the best you?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
And that sort of inspired you to go into that theme.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the best you isn't about NLP, because it's not. It's just, I have another company that does that. The best you is generically a vehicle, an educational vehicle to reach millions of people around the world and to provide a platform to those who have a message. The idea of the best you is based on the essence of NLP, is a study of excellence. I think in order to succeed in life, in order to become who you want to become, you really need to model the best.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that you only live once, and that you have to be obliged You have to be obliged to become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So, because I've suffered adversity several times, my dad died when I was 15, and then I lost my money first time at 26, and then at 40 all over. I think I obviously have a set of skills which allow me to kind of, just brush myself off and just carry on going.
Yeah.
And I have reinvented myself many, many times, and I have learned that, change is good. Well, the moment you start embracing change as a good thing, and it means you simply start evolving. So that's what the whole idea of the Best You is to try and, get people to react, to take action.
And to ask that question, are you being the best you? Or it's not over. And I love the term alchemy, which is what you're talking about in breaking down to break through or to break up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
it's never too late for anyone to become the best version of
and
themselves.
that's why you're on my show too, because that's the message that I'm constantly trying to splatter all over. In fact, when I was driving in today, big billboard, are you going to heaven or hell? And my first thought was, well, my question is, what am I doing now? Am I living in heaven or hell? Is my life now, which we know for certain is now, there's no guesswork around it. We're alive now. Am I living in heaven or in hell? I mean, and it's interesting because we're so consumed or thinking about, for many religious people, this is just a holding space, and whatever we're doing is to prepare ourselves for later. And I guess I'm a recovering, nothing against religion, but I'm really asking and really questioning every single moment. If I died, like right now, do I have any regrets? If I could, I say a lot to my kids, and they're tired of hearing it, I couldn't be any happier than I am in this exact moment, because I know I'm juicing my life and I'm knowing what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. That if I died right now, it'd be okay. And so when you said, I'm doing the Best You Expo, or when I was introduced to you, I went, oh, now there's a good question to be asking over and over. The same question of, do you have any regrets, is, am I living the best me? So, good. That was an endorsement for the name of the expo.
Thank you. When you started the program, you're talking about your friend that has the she hasn't got an answer machine, question machine.
Yeah.
My new project that I'm working on, but it's based on these things is that, but it is very simple. It's based it's on the question. So the quality of your life will depend on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. It's very simple. So if you're asking yourself the right questions, how can I be better than yesterday? How can I help people? How can I make that happen?
How can I be happier?
How can I be happier? How can I find, the moment you start doing that, your brain, your mind, the universe, whatever it is, will start providing. And listen, I'm not saying that I believe in the law of attraction, but the law of attraction without action, it doesn't necessarily happen. Okay?
Yes.
But I'm saying I do also believe that once you actually believe in these things, they manifest if you put the work in.
Yes.
I mean, how could I have known 10, 12 years ago when I lost everything that I would consider myself what I do consider myself now? Because it's a challenge to do that I am a leader, I'm a visionary, and kind of what I do. Well, I am, because you know what? No one else is doing it. So.
Right. Absolutely. And I am a believer in it. And at the same time, I absolutely agree with you. Willingness without action is a fantasy.
Yes.
And it's inspired action. That's the difference. It's not a push. It's drawn to. And it's allowing, because we're all supposed to have, pain is the touchstone of life, is the point of alchemy, is the point of growth. And I don't regret. I also had a difficult past, and I wouldn't change a thing, from the $500,000 divorce to the abuse as a child, because they all grew me.
Yeah.
They all chiseled me or expanded me into more joy and happiness than ever possible.
Life lessons.
So absolutely. So it is time for to thank the sponsors of today's show for again, supporting a show about hope and happiness. If you're someone who has a product and service who is wanting to be aligned with that message, please do contact me, and I will be back in 2 and 2. So remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. Hi, Dr. Marissa here, and this is your personal invitation to join me at the Best You Expo at the Long Beach Convention Center, March 24th and 25th for 2 days, 150 talks, 300 exhibitors, 20 workshops, and yes, I am one of the talks and workshops. So if you want invaluable inspiration to be the best you, go to thebestyouexpo.com for your tickets today. All right, and we're back with Bernardo Moya and the Best You Expo. This is a magazine that he puts out, and wow, you've got Al Gore on this one. I know you had Wonder Woman on the one that you gave me.
Yes.
So this is the publishing part, and this episode is all about the speakers, right? The one that's
correct. That was the program we did last year. We'll obviously have one for London and one for Long Beach.
Perfect. And you're also an author. Tell me about your book.
I've published a couple of books. I started a series, which I started in Spanish first, called Más Motivación and Más Confianza, more motivation, more confidence. And then the first book that I wrote was called 123 Ways to Look at Life. 123 formas de ver la vida. And that was quite...
I've never heard a British accent on Spanish. I have to say, it's mesmerizing. I want you to, like, keep... I do the rest of the show in Spanish.
Yo lo prefiero, como tú quieras. But that was based on kind of one of the things I think that are quite powerful is in NLP is a reframe. So simple quotes. I've always loved quotes. I think I found them very inspiring. And it was just a quote and a reframe of challenges that we suffer in life. So that was it. So the latest book was More Motivation, and that was and it's very light reads because I mean they're 12,000 words.
Okay. Who are they for?
Well, they're for anyone and everyone. They're based on business, my approach to business, life. I'm quite direct, kind of straight to the point, cut and just get on with it and stop whinging and complaining, as we say in England.
You just cost me $25 to edit out that
so
for my
sorry.
FCC.
What did I say? What did I say? What was it? Oh, can't repeat it.
Yeah, can't repeat it.
Okay.
Bullshitaki.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, okay. Well, sorry, I didn't know that was. I'm
That's
English.
okay.
I'm
I
English.
forgot. Yeah. Well, the blunt part we know.
Yes. So I'm quite direct with that. So my books are about kind of like, saying it as it is. I use kind of stories and metaphors, but there's quite a lot of NLP in there.
Okay.
And some very cool, very simple techniques.
What do you think gets in the way of most people? So why do we need motivation? Like, why?
Well, what gets in the way is themselves.
Okay. How?
They get in their way. They just don't focus. I mean, one of the things that I tend to say very frequently is what you focus on expands, and focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Yeah.
And that's it. And sometimes, you know what, you speak to people and you say, I'm going to give you some very, very simple advice. And then I use silence. And then I repeat, I'm going to give you some very, very simple advice. And then I just basically ask them to listen and to implement.
Sorry.
And a lot of the times that's what happens is people don't listen. So you can see, I mean, you've been working with clients for a long time yourself, but I know when someone's listening to their internal dialogue and they're not listening to me. Because, you do, again, I've learned a lot when it comes down to nonverbal communication and things like that. So, sometimes it's just themselves. They get in their way. They don't think properly. They don't think how they should think. So by giving them some certain techniques which will allow them to think better, be wiser, and take every day at a time, be resilient,
Yep.
welcome change, and be prepared to reinvent yourself and do things differently. If you do the same things as what's his name says, you're going to carry on going to the same places.
What do you think about the current increase, like the catastrophic increase in depression and anxiety that seems to plague people, especially in America?
Yes, it's very scary, isn't it? Yeah, it's. I personally think obviously there's a lot of reasons there. I am just quite skeptical about the amount of people that go and relate to using the use of drugs in order to overcome it. You know, and that's kind of my first advice. I'm not saying as some people that have clinical depression, obviously, you know, they have to follow their doctor's orders. But what I will say is that if people start eating properly, if they start exercising, if they exercise the mind, you know, if they focus on what they want and not what they don't want, if they keep quality control on their thoughts, and you know, life will look different. Life will look different.
To try that first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I totally
meditation,
agree with you.
You know, there's so many things that are out there that allow people to really think better.
Yeah. My book that's coming out is specifically for people who are anxious and depressed, who are taking antidepressants and anti-anxiety and still anxious and depressed and now have side effects on top of it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So it's not a judgment, but there's got to be something different because it's not working, right?
Well, as a foreigner coming into this country, one of the things that really surprises me and shocks me, and I find very amusing, is when you're watching television and you get all these medicines that they're trying to sell you, and when, I mean, oh my God, they spend, like, you know, 65% of the time talking about all the
things that are worse than I know.
God.
I know.
You listen to this, and do people actually buy these things?
Yes, they
really?
do. They do. Which is, it just doesn't make any sense, and it does make us look a little bit weird.
But there you go. You can see it's a business. It's a big pharmaceutical business.
Yes.
There's a lot of lobbying.
People
should really, really think about alternative medication if they can, if the doctors advised it, but I would really look at different ways of thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Absolutely. You're preaching to the choir. So we're out of time. It goes so quickly. But my last question to all my guests is, who are you grateful to or for that helps you be who you are?
I'm grateful to my parents that gave me some great genes, because I'm just talking about the energy that I have. I've got this capacity. I'm not talking about the looks, okay?
Well, we can go there too.
My kids are very good looking. No, my parents, they gave me I have amazing energy. I work so many hours and I'm always focused, and touch wood, you know. So my genes, I thank my parents. I thank my family. You know, I've got an amazing family, and they're my legacy. And I've got a great team who support and believe in me, because, you know, a lot of the times, you know, I keep pushing the boundaries of what is and isn't possible, and they keep believing in me. So thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on the air with me.
Thank you so much for the
and
opportunity.
coming to the studio.
This was delightful.
Good, I'm really glad.
Me ha encantado, me ha gustado muchísimo.
Yeah. Back at
You
you.
call me back.
Beautiful. And you will see both of us March 24th and 25th at the Long Beach Convention Center. Get your tickets today, thebestexpo.com, and we'll see you there. Thank you. And it is the end of the show, where I invite you to come step up to my balance bar. And continuing on today, starting every week, from a gift from myself and my publishers, a balance tool a week until my book does get on to the Barnes & Noble bookshelf 8718. And balance tool number 7 is going to be, don't go to the tractor for milk. So oftentimes we ask people for love or kindness or respect, and they are not capable of giving it to you in the way that you want or at all. And I call that, you know, you've heard the expression, you try to buy bread from a hardware store. Hardware stores don't carry bread. In the same way, you try to get milk from a tractor. A tractor does not give milk. So in order for you to be a little happier, I want you to stop going to the tractor for milk. Instead, find a cow. Someone who is capable of giving you whatever it is that you want from them. And that is one of the balance tools that's coming in 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are, because it's all about hope and happiness. And I will be covering the Conscious Life Expo for the 3rd year. If you missed my interview with Don Miguel Ruiz and Master Shah from years past, make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Make sure you also sign up for my Sedona retreat, Balance Retreat in the Vortexes, to work with me there every weekend after Mother's Day, and go to 4balance.org to do so. And if you'd like to work with me on the beach as well as on meditation or on anything that will improve your happiness 88% of the time, sign up for a free balance discovery session at drmarissa.tv. And the 21-day fast from complaining is on. We are on round 81. Today's balance tip, day 13, is choose not to complain, even when tragedy strikes. Day 4 on round 4 was a hard day to post. To choose not to complain when Seal Beach shooting had happened, worst Orange County massacre in my hometown of Seal Beach. It's not easy to not complain and not blame when tragedy happens, but if you choose to believe and choose to focus that light is greater than darkness, that love is stronger than hatred, then you can live in joy again and not be in the darkness. So please do sign up for the 21-day fast from complaining, where you get daily tips on how not to complain. If you do manage to not complain for 21 consecutive days, please do contact me and you'll get a prize. And so far, only women have been able to do 21 consecutive days, so we're looking for our first guy. Go to 4balance.org for more information on that. That is it for today's show. Next week, I will be having another scintillating, we're having Reinventing Healthcare with Dr. Mensa, a doctor that I met when I moderated the panel at Soldier Field for the Journey's Dream event in Chicago last year. He'll be coming on. Definitely want to tune in if you have any questions about health and healthcare. That's next week. That's it for today. Tune in again for another great episode of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now